two sides come face to face tonight as protesters hoping to abolish ICE march straight into the neighborhood of an ICE detention center administrator.
Neighbors came out to approach the protesters as both sides tried to get their message across. 3 people were arrested, and Denver 7's Gary Brode was there.
Tired of conditions inside the ICE detention center in Aurora, this group protested.
No KKK.
But not at the ICE detention center. This time, they wanted to hit home. Specifically, the warden of Aurora's facility.
We've been to the facility many times. In fact, for years, different groups have been holding vigils and protests at the facility, and we're just out of time.
The anti-ICE group marched through the warden's neighborhood.
We are not here to cause violence. We are here to bring awareness of what this man does for a living.
And that protest was met with opposition.
Go home! Get out of our neighborhood!
Some neighbors gathered on the lawn, upset not necessarily about the stance, but the platform.
This is our neighborhood. Don't come through our neighborhood trying to bring your propaganda against us. We didn't do anything to you.
Part of our plan is to let the people in this neighborhood know exactly who they're living next to, because a lot of people in this neighborhood live in a lot of comfort, and we think it's important that we disrupt that even for a night.
A GEO spokesperson tells Denver 7, "We are deeply troubled by the dangerous rhetoric and intimidation perpetrated by these extremist groups who have now targeted one of our employees and his family at their home, recklessly releasing their personal information." The Aurora Police Department was out in force, at times getting in between neighbors and protesters who marched past a heavily guarded home and then turned around, while some neighbors watched from a safe distance.
This is complete crap that they're walking through our neighborhood at 8 o'clock at night. It's a residential neighborhood. Look around you. Houses, people, man, we live here. We live in this neighborhood. Why are they doing this here?
The march lasted a little over an hour and a half. We did reach out to ICE, and they called this a misguided protest. Here in Aurora, Gary Brode, Denver 7.
And ICE and the GEO facility in Aurora specifically, no stranger to protests.
They've come under fire recently for separating families and accused of not properly caring for detainees in some of their detention centers.
And while groups continue to push for the end of ICE, others say the agency is misunderstood.
And earlier on Denver 7, we went 360. Protest organizers say the group is inhumane and needs to be done away with. ICE says it's just following the law and the job of their agents is necessary. The daughter of an immigrant wants accountability. And a former Border Patrol agent says people don't understand this job is dangerous and difficult.
Over 85% of those that we target and arrest have been convicted of a crime or have been charged with a crime.
The majority of the people in that facility are not criminals.
It's important for me to talk about my father, who was picked up by ICE, detained for 2 weeks, and then he died in their care.
And a lot of you are talking about this on social media. One viewer writes, ICE has a dangerous but necessary job to do. They're being called names for enforcing the laws. And Brian writes, close it down by any means necessary. Now, there is still time for you to let us know your perspective. You can email us 360@thedenverchannel.com, or you're also welcome to leave us a comment on our Denver 7 Facebook and Twitter pages.